Hi everyone, this is Dale. Welcome to my channel, Not Too Shabby Chic. Today I have a quick tutorial, or I hope it's quick, for you on altered coin rolls. I wanted to show you, I did one of these, or a couple of these, in my last journal that was a shabby chic sort of journal that I had a video on. That was the last video I did about a journal, and I had two of these in there. So I'm doing a tutorial to show you how I did them. So first you have to have, obviously, a coin envelope. Now you can, the ones I did in my other video, I stitched right across the bottom, and you could even stitch up the side, but you have to be careful because you're taking away real estate. So all I did was stitch across here, and so that the bottom's there, so it won't come through. However, if you don't have a sewing machine or you don't want to stitch, all you have to do is put a little glue right there. So I'm going to do this real quick on my sewing machine and show you what it looks like, and then I'll do another one without stitching, just so you'll have an idea of both. So just a moment. So here it is, stitched right there with a zigzag stitch. And obviously if you could stitch with straight stitch, you have a little more room, but that's what all I did as far as securing it at the bottom, so that it would hold something in there. I just stitched the bottom, or you can just take some glue of your choice and just put a tiny, oh, that's not tiny, is it? Tiny little bit at the bottom and push out. That way it won't go towards this way to take up more real estate than you mean for it to. So you just seal that good, and it's secured that way. So you can do either one. You don't have to sew. Laying a white pin on white lace is not the best decision to make. So there's that. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is, in the event you don't have any of these, I got these in Happy Mail. There are some other options. One, you can go buy some. You can get them on Amazon. You can get these at the Dollar Tree. You get quite a bit in a bag for $1. And you can even pick them up at your bank. So there's that. If you don't want to do either of those and you just want to use what you have, you can make your own. It's not going to say dimes, quarters, or nickels, depending on which one you chose, but it doesn't have to. So the other thing, I did some measurements and made some myself, but I wanted to show you it's a good way to use up scraps. And these are just from my scrap pile here. And I've got a ruler right here. So the measurements to make this coin roll, if you don't have one, is around 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 inches long. So see, that's about 3 1/2. I said 3 1/4 earlier, and that's too short. But you can also make them as long or as short as you want. They don't have to be the size of a corn roll. Cornrow. We're not talking about corn, are we? Coin roll. So, you could double the size and it would be really cute for a skinny tag. So you can make it as long as you want. An actual coin roll is 3 1/2, basically 3 1/2 inches long. So let's measure. Say I want to make it out of this, and I want to measure at 3 1/2. And I don't like measuring, just so you guys know. because even though I have a ruler, I stink at this. So I just pencil it there, and that's the length of the coin roll. Okay? The length. Now I forgot what I'm doing. That's the length. I need to do it this way, not this way. Sorry. I'm messing up. Ooh. See what happens when you try to do something on camera, and I got all my stuff together and I still messed it up. So that's the length. And I forgot to measure or tell you the width. So here's one folded out. It's 3.5 inches wide. So we've got the length, and now we want to go 3.5 inches wide, which would be to right here. Okay. And these are estimates. I mean, you don't obviously have to do it exactly this width. You can, you know, if you're making your own, you can make it as wide as you'd like. If you don't like the real skinny, then, you know, you can make it whatever length you want to. I'm just using a regular ruler to tear this instead of cut. So I'm just tearing. This paper doesn't like to tear real well. And I'm gonna tear right here. So there's my piece of paper. Looking for scissors. So I'm going to cut this where it didn't tear very good. So there. That's not super straight, but I'm okay. So there we go. Now, you'd score if you want it to be just, you know, kind of like a envelope. And I will do it on the back side. You will score it at 1 1/4 to be right here. You score it there, and at 2 1/2 right here. You need a little bit of overhang, and I'll show you why. So you've got it scored at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2. So again, the width was, so you could write this down, 3 1/2 wide. I'm going to write it down because I did not write it down when I was doing it earlier. Length and 3 1/2 wide for your coin roll. I keep trying to say corn roll. So if I say that, y'all just know what I mean. I don't need anybody texting or commenting and saying, you kept saying corn roll. I know that. It's coin roll, and we know that because that's what this is about. So I've got it scored at 1 1/4 and 2 1/2. Then you're just going to fold it like so, and this will be the back, and this is the front. Now mine ended up almost exactly. It's just a titch, just a hair wider, which is okay with me. Now I will glue this part, but I want to sew that real quick, but I'm not going to. That didn't make sense, did it? I'm going to put just a tiny bit of glue right here. I'm going to mash that down and push out this way. Oops. I don't remember what kind of glue this is. So then I'm going to put more glue here. just double sure, and you can push to the outside. Use your bone folder. Burnish it really good. And you could do your folds as well, which I did not do because I scored them. So when you score, they usually have a pretty clean and crisp edge. So you want to make sure it's glued down good. There's just a little dab there. I need to add some glue and a little dab there. So there we have our own coin roll. See? And I think that's kind of cute, actually. I like this paper. So it's a good way to bust up some scraps. Just sit and make coin roll size pouches all day. And you can make them different sizes. I will re-glue some of that later. So that's for those who don't have coin rolls. Now you know how to make them. So next, what we want to do is create our tags. So for the tags, when I did them in the journal that I sold, the paper was just a little bit flimsy. So if you use regular copy paper, I would almost triple it so that it's good and thick. But it's much easier just to use a heavier weight paper, cardstock, like my scrap, for example. The back side is craft color, so that would be pretty. But I don't want to not use this because I love, you know, this paper. So, but that's an option. See if I can find one that I don't care about front or back. I want to be able to write on it, so you could have the front side with a pattern and the back blank, or you can have both sides blank. I mean, yeah, both sides blank if you wanted to. It's just whatever you prefer. So I'm going to use this piece to make my tag. So for the tag, the length will be 8 7/8 long. So we're going to measure here, not on the 8s, 8's up here. 8 7/8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It'll be right here. So there's 8 7/8 right there. I'm going to try to tear it somewhat straight, eyeballing it, of course. May not be exact. So there we go. Oh, width of the tag is 1 1/16. So let's go on the 16th side of my ruler, and it's, go up here. 1 1/16, which would be right right here. Okay, so I am going to tear my ruler. I'm not tearing my ruler. I'm tearing the width to be 1 1/16. So let's press down on the ruler. So there's our width. And I want to snip that little piece off right there. Now I did get it a tiny bit wider than my mark. So you can trim this jagged edge Most papers, when you tear them, don't do this, but this particular paper is jagged whether you jag it or not. So there we go. Okay, so it's 1 1/16. Then you want to fold this in half. Now, if I fold it like this, I'm not going to have any writing space, right? But I could glue something on the back of this one so that there's writing space. Or your other option is not to glue it down so that it's a flip up. Okay? So let's say we're going to do that. I want to erase this off of here. So we'll grab our coin roll. There it is. And we'll slide her in like so, as far as she'll go down. See, and now you've got a big piece sticking up. What I did was I fold this down so that it comes over the edge just a smidge, but it doesn't have to even come over the edge. Okay, I just liked that. So you got that like that, or you can go all, you could fold it theoretically so that it would go all the way down, and it could be like that. I like it like this, and I'll show you why. So if I'm going to do this one, and we're going to make it a flip up, right? So that you could journal on the inside. What we're going to do is I'm going to glue a button. I had some already laid out here, like so. We're going to glue a button there, right about there. But first, I like to put thread in the button. Whoa, where'd it go? In the button. And I don't really care what color it is. I use black or brown or cream, beige, whatever. Happens to be nearby, and right now I have nearby brown. This is wax thread I use for bookbinding. So I'm going to come up the back side of the button. Excuse my battle-worn hands. And I'm going to go down that side like so, just so I have a little dab of thread in there. See? Then on the back, I'll just tie it in a knot, a small knot. And if you're going to glue it on, which is what I'm going to do, you don't really, have to tie it super tight or anything, because the glue is going to hold it. And I don't double knot it or knot it because I don't want it too thick. The other option is you could sew it onto the paper. This way to me is easier than trying to go through basically 4 layers of paper. So now I've got to get my Fabri-Tac so that I can sew that on. And of course my Fabri-Tac is not right at my desk because I am in the middle of reorganizing my craft room, and I didn't bring it, so I found it. I apologize. Coming back. There. Let's move those pieces. So now I'm going to take the Fabri-Tac. Now on this piece, you may do whatever you want. It's your deal. Do what you want. You can just glue it down, or you could sew it down. Since I'm using glue for this project, I'm just going to do glue. Get that up there off my finger. So we're just going to, you don't need a lot. And you could use art glitter glue or whatever kind you want. This works pretty good for thick things. So I've glued that and I'm pushing it up like so. And I like Fabri-Tac because it grabs fast. So there we have that. down. And you can take your bone folder if you don't lose it. Do y'all see it? And if you can see it, I know you can't tell me anyway, because I'm bad just to lay something down and then I can't find it. So, since that's what I appear to have done, guess what? I'll get another one. And I'll find the other one I'll turn up. I want to burnish the glue, but also that top fold is a little thick. So I want to mash it down good. This won't add too awful much bulk to your projects. The thinner paper obviously won't be as much bulk as the larger. So now my Fabri-Tac bubbled up, which it will do from time to time. I'm going to glue the button on. Excuse me the noise in the background. My husband and my great-granddaughter are here, and they forget that I've asked them to be quiet because I'm doing a video, so you're liable to hear all kinds of strange noises. It's raining here too, so I'm just getting the glue off, or I probably put a little too much. So there, to hold it just a little bit longer there, buddy. Hold it down so it can grab good. It takes a little longer for some reason on this kind of paper. And you can decorate or embellish it any way you'd like. Like I said, this is pretty cool to just make your own. So you can make your own little coin envelope, coin roll. That's what I'm going to call them, coin roll. Or you can use the pre-made ones should you have them in your stash. Very cool. This just looks vintagey to me, but you can vintage this up. So next, I'm going to take some ink and distress it, because that's how I roll. So we're going to get some potting soil and I want to find one of my favorite brushes. I guess I'll do this one. Those makeup brushes. So I'm going to get some potting soil. Ink it up good. I don't want to mess up my lace, so I just want to go around the edges. And you could use walnut stain or black even if you wanted to make it really dark. I'm just doing this. Okay, you see the difference on each side? There's the inked side and there's the uninked side. So you can see it better in person than you can on camera. So I'm just going to go over that again. And we'll do the other side. That's my great-granddaughter Willow in the background. She is not yet 2. She'll be 2 April the 8th. And she's a blessing. She's so funny. But she doesn't sit still. If any of you have grandkids or kids or great-grands or whatever at that age, you know that they will keep you going. They don't sit, or at least She doesn't stop for 2 seconds, if that. About the only time she slows down is when she's eating and asleep. Okay, so there's that with it inked. And then I want to ink my tab. Now you can also, on this, if you sew, you could stitch all around here, you know, on both sides, and it's just cute for the effect. But I'm not sewing this one, so we're just going to ink this up. I might even like ink my button. Just ink everything that's in my way. If you sit still too long, you'll get inked at my house. And I know it's not fun watching somebody ink. So I apologize. I hadn't necessarily planned on doing that, but I am. So you're inking back that way. And you just go till you get it as dark with the effect that you want. Sorry, that's my computer and I need to mute it. Apologize for that. So we've got our sides inked up. Now we can open and do the inside. And again, you don't have to ink, and you can use whatever color you want. Very tempted to use black, but this was the first one I came to, so I used it. And in case you like it, it's another favorite of mine, Wendy something. Potting Soil. Make Art Blendable Dye Ink. And it is by Ranger as well, like some of the others that we like. So, finish inking. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. There you go. So, I like it inked. Some like it inked, some don't. Whatever floats your boat. Or lights your candle, or... See? Look at there. I need to glue that. I didn't glue the other side. So I can hold that down while I'm inking. So that'll grab. And it doesn't matter how you do it, it's whatever you like. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be even. You just ink however you like to ink. I just tend to like it heavy inked, and I like the outside edge to be darker. So I try to do a darker on ombre. Isn't that what it is? Or now they've changed the name. You know, it's the same stuff, but they change it all the time. And instead of ombre, now it used to be faded back in my days. Then it went to ombre, and now it's called balayage or balayage or something like that for your hair. Same thing, new name, so that people think it's something new. So anyway, so there's that. I've got that glued down. I don't want it to glue shut. So there we go. Then if you want to embellish this, you can. You just have to be careful that it will still fit in your envelope, coin roll. So now you're just going to push that in there like so, and it'll just, and you can adjust your width. This was just the width that where it didn't hinder going in and out. You can make it a little bit wider than the 1 1/16. You could do 1 2/16 probably. So now we're going to embellish it. You almost don't really have to have any embellishing on this because it's cute just like it is, or you could make up a bunch and save your embellishing until you get ready to use it. But I wanted to show you a couple of ideas on embellishing these. So I am grabbing a few things that I did not think about before. Okay. So I am just going to use a piece of lace like what you see in front of you, this, to embellish. I just want to cut a little piece off. Like so. And you can make it the whole thing. You can put it to one side. You know, just however you want to do it. I think I kind of like it that way. Then I think I want to put the one that I did on my video. I believe I used, like, that went down, and then I used 2 more buttons so it looked like it was just one solid thing, and they don't all have to be the same buttons, but you could put that one about there. And a little bit smaller down here. So you can do it like that, or you could do all large buttons. I can't even remember how I embellished the other one, but I didn't make it complicated like I seem to be trying to do now. So I'm cutting that piece of lace in half because I really kind of want it to come up here. I cut it too short. One memento. Okay, that is the right length. So I'm just evening that up a hair, and I don't want it as wide as the whole envelope. However, you could cover, if you've got paper you don't like, this would be a great project because it doesn't look the same when you fold it up. Or you can cover the whole thing with a piece of lace and it won't show that much. So we're going to do that. Done. I'm just doing it. So I'm just going to put some Fabri-Tac here. I want to make sure I don't glue down my tag. And we're going to put the lace like so. Let's glue that down. You can just fold that to the back if you like that look, because you are going to glue this to your page. So you could just fold it under and glue it so it looks finished, or you can just snip it off. It's whatever you prefer. I believe I am just going to snip it going from the back because I want it to look raggedy. And so then you can just come along, pull at the This is vintage pieces, so it'll ravel and pull at it just to make it look a little raggedy if you want, or you can make it not look raggedy. Obviously, it's your project, so you can do it however you choose. So there we have that. I kind of like that. And then for buttons, I don't really care for those buttons. You could also use, I have these fabric clusters that I've done. I sew a vintage button on, and I did this in my MeWe group for a challenge. You could even put that as a decoration, or put it in the middle like so, and then your tags there. So you could even do that, and then just put one button at the bottom. Voila, and that would be cute. I'm going to show you one other alternative with another button. And I find another same color button like that one. Kind of like this old button. You know, the grungier it is, the better I like it. So I'm going to get out a couple of choices here. I used to have my buttons separated by the ones that already had the thread in it. That way I didn't have to rethread it. But I reorganized my buttons, excuse my dogs. And some of them don't have the threads in them. And some do, all in one pot until I get to the next level. So, instead of that, we can do that. And then we can just put that button right there. So we've got, there we go. So sorry for the dogs. So there's an embellishment. Or if you didn't want to put a fabric cluster, you could just add another button. Let me cut the, if you've got a shank button, you can just take wire cutters and cut them off. Cut the shank off, especially when it's a plastic button. And just do like this. I kind of like that, I believe. Done. I'm going to quit fooling with it. So I'm going to glue down, because this kind of serves as your first button. So I'm going to want to put this one in the middle. That looks, I just eyeball it, so that looks about middle to me. Sorry for all the noise, people. I apologize. It's hard to find unless I do them in the middle of the night or before the crack of dawn in the morning, a time when people aren't making noise. So there's that, and then we're going to put this one here. There, and I like leaving that string. It makes it look more grungy. So there is an altered coin roll. It's not even altered. There is your homemade coin roll with your little tag. And another thing you can do, and I don't have any handy, is you could take a rubber stamp or a stencil and add, you know, some stenciling to that to add a pattern if you wanted. But you don't have to. So you just tuck that back in, and there we go. Oops, it's not down good. I think those are cute. They're great on a journal page. And you can check out my video for the Raggedy Shabby journal and see how I did it. But that's how you can make your own coin roll. Then, obviously, if you want to use a coin roll that is already made, you can embellish it just like I did that one. You can add buttons, you can add lace, you can add bits of paper, just whatever floats your boat. There's no right or wrong. Like I might take a piece of this doily on this one and just stick it right there. Kind of cute. And then stick a button right in the center and let that be that. And you don't need to do a lot to them. It's just however much. That almost looks like a butterfly actually. So if I turn it kind of like that, that could be butterfly wings. Isn't that cool? And if I did butterfly wings, I could make a little body. Let's just see what that would look like out of my paper. Like that. Could be a little butterfly body. You could put little antenna on there, but just showing you a couple of quick ideas that you could do. So you can have that. Then you can have your tag, and this one I did, it's black on the back and I'm not having it flip, I'm doing it the opposite way. You can also do that. So instead of putting the fold at the top like that and folding it over, I'm putting it at the bottom and I'm gonna straight stitch all the way around, and I'm folding that. And you don't have to use a button. You can put whatever you want as a stopper, or you can cut it all the way down and have a little tab or a piece of, you know, ribbon or lace or something at the top. I just think the buttons are cute. So on this one, I was just going to put a little button like that, and that pulls it out. So anyway, I gave you the measurements for your little tags that go inside your coin rolls, and we made our own coin roll. See how messy I can get in just a few seconds? Here's where we did a completed one. I could do the same thing on here that I did there. Piece of that lace with 2 buttons, or you could have 3. I just don't like even numbers, so I do things in odd numbers. And then you've got your tag. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoy it. I am doing this for a challenge in my MeWe group, and I'll do it here on YouTube as well. So this week's challenge is to make a coin roll or a little coin roll envelope yourself, and decorate it and make your tag. And let's see you make it your own, or use a coin roll that you already have. Make it into a tag holder, make your tag, and let's see the great ideas that you guys have. And please be sure to let me know how you did and post your results, and please put hashtag coin roll so that I could find it, and hashtag not too shabby chic. So thank you guys. Look forward to seeing your creations, and know you are loved, and I love you guys. You're special, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.